Yo, family, what is good? Welcome back again to another daily live stream where we have seen some interesting posts here from the likes of Ash Crypto here, which lists the 26 reasons to be bullish in 2026. Now, for today's live stream, today's content, we're going to be covering basically this list, adding my own take on it as well. Also, I'm going to be leaking, talking a little bit about some elements that were spoken about in our earlier executive roundtable with my VIPs, and ultimately where this year is going to pan out. It's my personal beliefs, not financial advice, of course, but I believe that 2026 is going to be a very, very big year, very, very bullish, and there are, at least from the research we did earlier and the roundtable we did earlier with my VIPs, the institutions have seemed to have identified what assets will be the ones that perform the best. If you want to find out more about the full stuff, check out the VIP, links are down below in the description. But before we talk more about that, look at the market chart right now. Bitcoin, $90,300. Kaspa currently up 1.49% at 4.71 cents. Ethereum at 3.1k, and then some other assets performing as they will. Look at the crypto bubbles as well. Also very interestingly here as well, you can see the current top performers seem to be CC, you got FET, you got XMR, you also have Render, which is one that we've been talking about a little bit more, and it's also one of the AI picks that I have been talking about a lot more recently, and equally one of the picks that my VIPs have been knowing about. Render is one that I think is going to do exceptionally well when the time comes. And I'll talk about it more later on. But so far how it performed since the beginning of this year. It's currently up 2x in value since January 1st. And it's possible it can continue rallying in value given where the market's going to go with AI as well. Now, as we go into this list first off and then can't go through the motive for today's stream, we can see Astro Crypto highlights 26 reasons to be bullish in 2026. You've got Donald Trump's $200 billion mortgage bonds buying announcement, which is significant. You've got a new Fed chair, Jerome Powell, while he has done a good job. What we want to see now is the injection of liquidity, and we also want to see the lowering of interest rates to turn that sentiment from risk off to risk on, so we can start seeing the crypto market start to significantly rally. Jerome Powell has been threading the needle, treading the line, if you will, trying to keep the economy afloat. There is, of course, always the worry that if you start significantly lowering interest rates and start injecting insurmountable amounts of capital, you're going to cause a rally in inflation and therefore economic collapse. So I think there's still a possibility if the new Fed chair comes in and does act in that manner, but it would cause some short-term volatility, potential movement that we can capitalize on and then get out before the collapse comes in. But a new Fed chair will be coming this year. Right now, the current leader is Hasn't, and he is very aligned with Trump's agenda. So that's going to be a very big announcement. That's another very big bullish thing coming this year. You've got the Clarity Act approval, which was one of the key takes that we're talking about in these streams and in our executive roundtable earlier. The significant amount of capital that we are anticipating to be seeing coming into the space, it all actually revolves around this piece of regulation when it comes through. We mentioned more rate cuts that comes in with the Fed chair, $2,000 tariff dividend, provided that Trump's tariffs don't be deemed as illegal in the Supreme Court, which will be decided, I believe, on Wednesday. That will be significant as well. Big tax cuts, CZ's supercycle thesis, which we have been talking about even before he did in this community as well. We've been looking through other documentation, the likes from Signum Bank, from SwiftX, from Bitwise, and even many, many more big institutions, Grayscale as well, who are talking about this 4-year cycle is done for. It's not a thing anymore. We're going into a cycle extension, aligning with the business cycle, and that's why also 2026 is going to be huge. We've seen big banks are buying in Bitcoin, adding it to a treasury. The CPI inflation is going down. We'll find out more about that on Wednesday, because Wednesday we're going to see, or even earlier, it might even be earlier, it might be Tuesday actually, you're going to see the CPI report come out, so that'll be quite big. Mid-term elections could also cause some volatility, potentially for the better. Russell 2000 index at all-time highs, Fed T-bills buying, which we're seeing at the end of QT, that's also happening now. Global liquidity is at all-time highs, we could analyze that right here and now. At all-time highs and still rallying higher. So once that sentiment shifts from risk off to risk on, this capital will start coming into your stocks, your equities, your cryptocurrencies. This is also a very, very big catalyst as well. Altcoin ETF approval. We have a few coming up right now. XRP has performed very well since ETF has come out, truth be told. You've seen Solana perform okay, Ethereum perform okay. You've got Cardano, Litecoin, HBAR all has ETS, but you've got many more that are still waiting for that approval from the likes of Potenza Tau, from the likes of more HBAR ETS. You've got more for Litecoin, I believe. You've got more for XRP as well. You've got multiple more ETS that will trigger more capital inflows from institutions once they are approved, which will likely be coming through this year. Bitcoin to gold, 12 months bear market, global regulatory approval, gold, silver overheated. And we are seeing that also right now, gold nearing all-time highs, silver nearing all-time highs. I think it still can go higher, but you can also make the assumption that because of how much it's been rallying, it's going to eventually cool off when that sentiment does shift to risk on. And then you're going to see Bitcoin and crypto just significantly rally and catch up to that sentiment. SLR easing, long-term holding have stopped distributing, 8 trillion plus in debt refinancing, Fed balance sheet expanding, dollar devaluation, GDP moving higher, sentiment at all-time low, which is crazy considering that we're only at $90,000 Bitcoin and it's at all-time lows. Think about what happened in the last bear cycle. We were sitting at $16,000 Bitcoin in the last bear cycle, all the way back down here. And we're now at, if not similar sentiment right now, at a $90,000 Bitcoin. We could very well just be witnessing the bottom being completely priced in and then the rally upcoming in the next week or months to follow. Bitcoin dominance is at its peak. That's not something that I am personally agreeing with right now. Bitcoin dominance could definitely go up a little bit more so. Time will tell, of course. Currently at 59%. Definitely can go a little bit higher this year, but we could see that start to make a gradual fall off as well, with altcoins also rallying. And the last one out of the 26 list that Ash Crypto highlights here as well is ISM above 50. Right now, the ISM manufacturing is not. That will likely change this year. The services is, and that is very significant. So that will also, with crypto aligning with the business cycle, that will also correlate to risk on sentiment and the assets rallying as well. That's the list of 26. But in the title, you see that I said there are over 30 reasons. Over 30 reasons as to why this year will be big. And we can now build on that as well. Spoke about this earlier. Render, one of the big performers right now. We spoke about this actually in our executive roundtable earlier today, about 5 hours ago. AI compute demand is real. Global AI compute is doubling every 7 months. Render, for me, is a very, very strong contender, a very good hedge in regards to the AI meta playing right now, because with Render, you can supply just about any enterprise, any individual, any institution with unlimited AI compute. Render's originally was perceived as a niche when looking at 3D rendering. That was what Render originally was built around, but it has expanded now to where their business model comes to the renting out of GPU power. The way to perceive Render is the Airbnb for GPUs, where you rent it out to institutions, so you don't have to keep buying these expensive NVIDIA chips. So you can end up building your LLMs and your AI agents and whatnot. You can just rent the power on Render's protocol. That is something that's going to, I believe, catch on and get a lot more demand throughout this cycle. So Render's one of my watch lists alongside many, many others in regards to the general space, but also in AI as well. I've mentioned Tau, mentioned Virtuals, and there are a number of other ones that I am also extremely bullish on that performed already very well this year that I mentioned to my VIPs earlier today as well, which you want to find out exactly what it is. Listen to the whole breakdown with the TA, with our TA expert, C Crypto. You can just check that out. The executive roundtable link is available to the VIPs. You can get access to that. So just join in for a 7-day free trial right now. Watch the executive roundtable that took place earlier today and be better prepared for how the short, medium, and even long term, how 2020 is going to plan out and what the industries are looking into. Because what we also spoke about is this here. We spoke about this already in the last year about Baker McKinsey, how they have confirmed Kaspa will win the 2026 bull cycle, and the reason why is throughout the whole document, some of the key elements they highlight alongside more, but the snapshot that I have here is talking about data centers and talking about the ability, talking about the ability of assets or protocols or projects even that can embrace flexible principle-based regulations. So rewarding. So those who will perform very well in 2026 this year will be those who can turn these regulatory hurdles into massive competitive advantages. With data centers, that's what DRI are trying to do with their partners with Kaspa. They're doing it and they're trying to get that done in the Middle East as we speak. with the KRI, they've already solved that regulatory hurdle with Warp Core, where you can have these big institutions, and they're apparently already using the Warp Core in the sandbox environment right now. They can now transact, trade, do all their stuff on Kaspa's 10 BPS while staying 100% compliant with the local laws by retaining self-sovereignty, which is exactly what these institutions want. And it's significant coming from Baker McKinsey as well. Baker McKinsey, their client list represents 90% of Fortune 500 companies. So ultimately what the overall Fortune 500 companies and all the institutions believe in, how they perceive what's going to do well. Baker McKinsey have compiled all the data they know from their client list, so pretty much all the top companies, and that's what the current trend's going to be. The winners are going to be those, well, because it's not the whole document I've showcased here, but some of the winners here are going to be those who can attribute and help add benefits to this data center element, but also those who can bridge the gap in this regulatory difference, because you're not going to have in the perfect world, you'd have all regions around the world align with regulations. But the way that the United States have their regulatory frameworks is going to differ from the European Union and the United Kingdom and Japan and China. Everyone's going to have slight differences for what's going to benefit, for what they perceive is going to be the best. So what would be ideal is to have a certain mechanism, a certain way to where you can utilize these protocols, these technologies, without having to then shift your own business strategy to meet these regulatory challenges that are maybe in a different region. And there are many institutions out there who function in multi. Think about HSBC, Standard Chartered, these huge banks who are not just based in one region. They're not just based in the United Kingdom or not just based in Hong Kong or the United States. They are based in all of them. So they have to be able to bridge that gap. So if you have a piece of infrastructure like Warp Core and Kaspa, allows these institutions like HSBC, for example, or Standard Chartered, who are based in multiple regions around the world with different jurisdictions and different laws, to be able to use Kaspa protocol while still remaining completely compliant with the laws in the region they're trying to trade from, which is significant. That's already one winner we spoke about. We spoke about one winner. He's making that publicly, and we spoke about that in the VIP earlier. And I also then built more so in the VIP today, talking about how, if we knew or not, Baker McKinsey mentioned this, and they also highlighted in this document as well, which I in this document, which I didn't show a screenshot of, but I showed the whole document in the VIP earlier, that the cross-border payment market is estimated to reach as high as $250 trillion by 2027, and that's a direct quote from the Bank of England here. Bank of England stated that the value of cross-border payments is estimated to increase from almost 150 trillion in 2017 to over 250 trillion by 2027. So equating to over 100 trillion in 10 years, that's 2 years off now. So we're now seeing, paired with that knowledge of Baker McKinsey's recent Regulatory Reset 2026 report about what KRI are doing with Kaspa's Warp Core, which is very, very significant, Kaspa, therefore, from my belief, is not just tapping into this $250 trillion opportunity in the coming years. It will probably do more than that. If Warp Core catches on, which the technology, what is being described, what Baker McKinsey believes the institutions are really looking for, is what Warp Core provides. Should this catch on, should we get out of sandbox environment and start generating some adoption, Kaspa is going to outperform everything in theory. It's going to do fantastic well. Warp Core allows banks to use Kaspa's 10 BPS while staying 100% compliant with their local laws, which is a key priority for leading financial institutions right now. That's another reason, on top of the 26 we mentioned earlier, as to why 2020 is going to be huge. Or 27, technically, you should talk about also the AI boom coming as well. The 20x, 50x, 100x on AI compute is about to happen. AI is another very, very big market that we should be keeping a close eye on right now, in my personal belief, of course, not financial advice. Now, before we get into more of the content and some other Kaspa news, and equally, I will provide an update. The post's not come out just yet, but I can talk about it in regard to what's happening on Tuesday with our first YouTube blockchain banter live stream. I'll talk about who the guests are. I won't tell you who next week's is, but next week's also be confirmed, and that's also going to be very, very big. So stay tuned for next week's one as well. Before I do though, welcome back once more to the stream, everybody. Let me talk about once more. Welcome everyone back to the stream. You got Lau here who tuned in first. Welcome back, brother. You're doing very, very well. We Moon yet? Wing Hong says not yet, but hopefully we'll see the markets make this gradual rally up over the coming months, depending on certain sentiments, which we're keeping a close eye on in the VIP for sure. Welcome back, Blaze, and you too, Kryptoni and Brett. Welcome back, all of you. JP Morgan actually looking into Kaspa. If that's a post that I made, it was a spec. I have not. There's nothing concrete about it. In fact, even this post here that I made from Baker McKenzie, like these are most definitely click engagement posts. You know, there's been no names or confirmation from these big institutions about what they're looking into, and they wouldn't do that. They don't want to, you know, reveal their hand. JP Morgan could very well look into Kaspa through Warp Core potentially. You never know. It's a possibility given Kaspa's infrastructure and technology. It's a possibility. I haven't said nothing concrete about JP Morgan looking into Kaspa right now, though. But moment it happens, trust me, you'll be the first to find out through this channel, through this community, through my Discord server as well. So go check all that stuff out there as well. Welcome back, Double D, but you're doing very, very well. And you too as well. Mila, been a minute. Hello, everyone. I'll be planning to hold our bag for a few years. I'm so sick and tired of the idea and possible outcome. Now I'm selling my Kaspa at a loss, period. I'm sorry to hear that, Mila. I really, really am. As it stands right now, I am not selling any of my Kaspa. Sorry, correction here. I'm not selling my Kaspa at a loss, period. You rickrolled us all there. Fair play. Yeah, I'm not selling my Kaspa at all, especially not at a loss. I wouldn't say that my sentiment is boom or bust to Kaspa, because I don't think it's going to be a bust at all. There are some we are holding it for boom or bust. Pretty much every asset is a risk in that regard, but I think the risk to reward for Kaspa is stronger, it's better. I think this year is going to be huge, very, very big for Kaspa. We've already seen some significant developments taking shape with Warp Core, with developments regarding Python, thanks courtesy of Easier Dev and the work he's doing as well. You've seen talks in regard to VProgs, Igra Lab, some updates as well. You've heard a lot taking shape right now already in the first week or so, first 2 weeks of 2026. People are under the reason also why part of the reason also I did take a lot of time off, so granted people aren't really tuning into me right now, but the reason why these streams don't get as much engagement as previously is because Kaspa's been down for a long time. People are sick of Kaspa. That's also why I'm doing a slight pivot to talk about more than just Kaspa here. But also, importantly, is because majority of the retail community are under the interpretation that 4-year cycles come to an end. We made a peak in October 10th, and it's going to go down here from here. I don't believe that's the case. My research tells me it's not. I think we are, if not at a bottom, near a bottom right now. I think right now we could probably see it come to 74k depending on the situation, but I think it's unlikely. I think my personal belief, not financial advice, of course, that this was the bottom for Bitcoin, and you'll start seeing a gradual consolidation and accumulation over the coming weeks as well. I mean, it depends. There are multiple things to keep into account, be it geopolitical tensions, be it macroeconomic developments. But I do think we're going to see a significant run-up in the coming months, maybe nearing the end of Q1 or so, and you'll see the markets perform much, much better. Yeah, I'm not selling my Kaspa for sure. I have taken profits and even losses in other assets in the last cycle, but I am up very, very nicely, thankfully. Overall, in what I've been holding, I made some significant gains at the end of 2024, which kind of helped even the whole 2025, which ended up being a very bad year. The gains I made, especially in the degen Solana trenches, helped subsidize my whole 2025 portfolio as well. And we're going to see 2026 perform exceptionally well as well, in my belief, be it for Kaspa, for AI, and other niches as well. Yeah, I say stay strong, Emila. We'll make it for sure very soon. I just want $1 Kaspa now. Is it too much to ask for? In due time, brother, I'm sure. I think we're heading for 4.1 cents before we take off. 4.1 cents Kaspa puts us in around the bottom support band here, which is definitely a possibility. Is there a guarantee we see Kaspa come back down to here and then shoot off? It's not illogical to believe as such. I think it does very much depend on the... I think Kaspa right now, it's not... We're not in a bubble. Well, we are in a bubble, but not in a bubble for Kaspa right now, where I don't think in this current position, Kaspa will just stop performing independently from the rest of the market. Once you see the release of, VProgs, Igra Labs, more KRI projects that start actually garnering adoption and attention, this could allow Kaspa to start acting independently from Bitcoin and the rest of the market. But right now, I think Kaspa is just following along like a typical altcoin would do. So depending on Bitcoin's movements, Ethereum's movements, so that's therefore depict on general macroeconomic news and geopolitical tensions, what's happening around the world, the conflicts and whatnot, this will impact the price and the value and the assets. But I do think Kaspa, once it has broken these psychological levels, it will be Valhalla sort of price targets in my personal belief. Psychological levels you can look at. This is a very big psychological level here. Passing that would be very, very big. This trend line also is quite a big one. The big psychological levels for me that people are always very hesitant, very keeping a close mind on. Evidently, this recent one here around 6.2, 6.3. You also have the zones here up around 8 cents. That's been proven time and time again. Every time we reach 8 cents, we consolidate for about a week or so, or 2 weeks even at times. So I'd say that this is also a big level. So you've got here, and then you also got, you've got zones every 1 cent up for Kaspa as well. But the big psychological levels, I would say the next one will probably be up around 10, 11 cents, probably in and around here. And then you want to try and, you really, really want to try and knock out these peaks here. If you can knock out these peaks, then, Kaspa will go on an absolute tear. An absolute tear. They won't have the bandwidth unless they move to Kaspa. Yeah, no, I don't disagree. I think there is a definite shortfall that many projects in this space are going to end up hitting a cap they're going to hit due to their protocol. Render, I think, has got a very, very good business strategy, but they could very well hit the cap because they haven't got the ability to scale with latency like you would do with Kaspa. It's going to end up hitting a cap capacity. Hardware in general is going to start hitting that capacity, which is why you need to have a decentralized infrastructure that can scale and have very extreme fast finality. I do wholeheartedly believe, especially what you're seeing built on Kaspa, that AI could very well be onboarded onto Kaspa in the coming maybe months. I'd say month, maybe 2 years. It's not going to be immediate, but you're going to remember. Jonathan Polinsky said he's building right now in the anticipation that the next 1 million users are going to be AI agents. So evidently AI is being kept in mind within Kaspa Core, which is important. AI is going to be huge. We can't stay ignorant to that. Render, I think, is going to be very, very big. In my belief, the assets that actually in the idea and in the belief that we have that Kaspa is going to become this protocol layer for everything going forward, the protocols that on board and jump on top of Kaspa sooner than later were the ones that perform very, very well going forward as well. You've already heard some. I know Okta has onboarded on Kaspa in some regard. Not that it's really AI based, but you also have Tau. There's some whispers about Tau and Kaspa as well. That's also a possibility. Render, I think it's not illogical to believe it could happen in the future, but I am still bullish on Render regardless as a very solid AI pick alongside Tau, Virtuals, and some others that I have not mentioned public, but mentioned in my VIPs. And these assets that I've mentioned, these other AI projects, they've already done like 5, 6, 7 X's since the beginning of the year. They've performed very, very well with small caps, but also very high risk, but equally exceptionally high reward if they do catch on, which you can see some very, very big catalysts coming up for those projects in this first quarter. So time is running out for them as well. Of course, find out more so in the VIP. Check out the executive roundtable earlier today, and you'll see also access to the document coming out later this week as well. Good evening, Charlie Kirk Forever, who's doing very, very well. They're also mitigating to Solana. Yeah, I mean, either way, it's one of the biggest ecosystems. So, it's currently there now. That doesn't mean it's going to be there forever. And if Kaspa ends up building infrastructure that allows seamless integration from Solana to Kaspa, which you've got solely VMs in the pipeline for projects like Igra Labs, then it's not illogical to believe that it'll come through as well. Interoperability is a very important aspect that Kaspa's taking seriously. It's also key to its survival and also other project survival as well. ChatGPT told me not to sell my Bitcoin for more Kaspa. What do I do? I mean, AI's not perfect, but also Bitcoin is pretty much guaranteed, if you want to put it that way, guaranteed to perform well, being that it's basically the SP500 for crypto, is not going to die, at least not in any time in the near future. Kaspa's a lot more speculative because it's a smaller asset. It's not been proven as such. But due to its architecture, its proof of work consensus, I still believe Kaspa is a stronger pick. That's why I hold it. That's why it's my biggest bag. I hold others, but it's my biggest bag by a long shot. Holding a lot of Kaspa. And everything else I've got, I'm just building the bags more and more and stacking more Kaspa wherever I can do. I saw my Bitcoin for Kaspa. Good to hear, Brett. Ain't nobody take a Kaspa? I hope not. We've got to retest the downtrend as support. Yeah, again, I do think we could retest that, and that would be a good bottom, and then we see that reversal coming in. Whether it will be the strong enough reversal we're anticipating or not, we have to wait and see. I don't think Kaspa can make an independent run just yet. I think it has to follow the rest of the market. In the coming months, with all the other developments coming out, then sure, it can act independently. And when that happens, well, then we'll all be laughing, because I very much believe that Kaspa is going to outperform Bitcoin, especially this year. I think it's a possibility you see the Kaspa Bitcoin chart, Kaspa starts doing this in the coming months. Good evening, Elfoon. You're doing very, very well. Have you seen Caspions? I have not seen whatever that is. If you can link that in the Discord community, I can have a look myself, brother, but I have not seen that right now. And we got Greta as well. Welcome. Evening. I'm late a little bit. It's all good. Welcome back. You're doing very, very well. Good to have you here again, my man. Kaspa is safe and massive ROV compared to Bitcoin. You could always buy back into Bitcoin when Kaspa has done its ball. Yeah, very true. You can always use Bitcoin as a store of value element, but Kaspa is the one where it's actually going to kind of likely generate a lot more income and money in the sense it does perform very, very well. I mean, Kaspa Lens or order book for Kaspa and Core. Kaspa Lens. I'm not entirely sure what. I know Kaspa Lens, of course. I'll have a look at Kaspa Lens real quickly, although I'm not entirely sure what it is that you're talking about. You're talking about, have you seen Caspions? I'm not entirely sure where it is you want to look on here, on Kaspa Lens. Oh, you mean Kaspa Lens, right. Okay, sorry. Have you seen Kaspa Lens? Yes, I have seen Kaspa Lens. I apologize for the ignorance of myself there and the lack of understanding. I have seen Kaspa Lens. I have looked into elements of it like the order book and whatnot. It has been useful to look at moments in time. It's not complete yet, so I want to see more work done on it. But I have seen the order book. It does give you an insight into regards to where the buy and sell walls are on these exchanges, so it is helpful. Good luck. What's up, Geek Protocol brother? You're doing very, very well, my man. But yeah, we are seeing, they've got a massive wall here at around this price target here, so it's going to be hard for Kaspa to break above that. But equally a big buy wall here around 4.67 cents as well. That's on Gate. You also got it on Bybit as well. I appreciate it very, very much, Ring Hong, as always. You can see it here on Bybit as well, where the walls are. It looks like it's a bit more updated. You've got a lot more seemingly information on Bybit. You've got, massive buy walls at multiple zones here. It looks like Kaspa's very much can go either way right now. You seem to be a bit more pressure for buying than selling at the current moment in time. But it's only in the last 4 hours as well, so that sentiment can change very quickly. It hasn't unfortunately got a longer timeline just yet. Hopefully we see this updated and continue to progress going forward as well. Now, with that being known and said, let's get into some more of the updates for today's stream. So we already mentioned this Baker McKinsey document. We mentioned it quite a few times in this stream. And of course, if you're part of the VIP, get access to the whole document, links down below. But we only highlighted that again due to the potential monopoly Kaspa can, take over into the cross-border payment market, the $250 trillion opportunity that comes about it due to Warp Core and how they're already progressing right now. Other big Kaspa announcements coming through as well. You've got Elliot here, who announced the TLDR of what he's bringing to Kaspa. First draft of the paper is coming on Sunday, which is going to be, to my understanding, elements in regards to Oracle, the best Oracle in the industry, a decentralized arbitrage network that profits from centralized exchanges discrepancies, as well as secures the Oracle, the software that shall be distributed, which is huge news. So you're going to see optimized organizations from Cascade, hedging an inventory of the decentralized arbitrage network and liquidations. See if you can turn the ARB and liquidation revenue into a vault, completely eliminate trust factors from all the above, which is not a priority in the moment, but it's still kind of coming through very soon. This is going to be huge news. Oracles are going to be absolutely massive on Kaspa, so I cannot wait to see more of this come through. Shout out to Elliot for this work. Looking forward to the paper coming out on Sunday, which actually should be coming out there for today, because the day is Sunday, but it might be in a different time zone, which is therefore we've not seen it just yet. But I've not seen anything about it just yet. Oh, tell a lie, it's right here. There you go. We can look at it a little bit quickly right now. when it loads. So yeah, we propose a no arbitrage framework for aggregating limit order books across multiple exchanges by embedding heterogeneous books into a common price grid and stimulate cross-venue arbitrage until overlap is exhausted. We continue to consolidate books whose midpoint defines a fair price to accelerate information pre-correlation and enforce local no arbitrage conditions. We incorporate a central arbitrage network and show that sustained price deviations require capital comparable to market-wide liquidity. So you can see, I mean, I'll probably link this in the community. I won't go through it all right here and now, but you can see the content of what's going to be in the document here. Of course, it's going to be very kind of tech code heavy. This is the paper that come out in regards to oracles that should be coming to Kaspa in the not too distant future, which is huge news. So we'll talk about that probably in tomorrow's stream, so stay tuned for that, which is going to be going live earlier than usual. As you guys should be aware, if you tune into the free Discord server, you can see the scheduling system so you know when we are going live. And other updates as well, which is also very important. Kaspathon is starting very soon. Less than a week remains now until we kick off. They already got 126 hackers ready to get their hack on with this Kaspathon here, which is very exciting. We to formally announce the testnet 12 Kaspa governance is allowed for the project, which is also really exciting stuff as well. Now there is a potential that I will be helping in elements with this, mainly using this platform to help showcase what the builders are building effectively. So if I can be of help, I've already given my services to the individuals who are setting this all up, like Ezio, like Chris Hutchison. So stay tuned for that. I might see some more coming out at some point in the coming weeks as well. But this is great to see. This hackathon is going to be great for people trying to build on Kaspa, getting more familiar with the protocol, seeing how efficient it is, and also could potentially bring in some more builders who actually want to help in the general building of Kaspa as well. And speaking of me offering my services, I can now make the announcement, I believe and hope, which is that of course, those who I mentioned yesterday, I am now helping with the Blockchain Banter team. They've got 2 shows already on Twitter. The ones who set it up originally, Chris and Lavendi, and then they've got an American Blockchain Banter show, so American time zone, which is taken by Kara and taken by Juan. That's 3 a.m. my time when it goes live, so I can never tune into those. But now you've got me and Crypto Pumps who are doing a YouTube Blockchain Banter every Tuesday at 9 p.m. BST, which is going to start from this Tuesday. We've already got week 1 and week 2 guests confirmed, and week 3 is a possibility. We have to wait and see. I won't say week 2 just yet until probably a little bit later on, but on Tuesday, the 2 guests we have got on is going to be Kaspador and also Ashton, which is very exciting stuff. Of course, Kaspador has been in Kaspa's community for a very long time, attended these shows, these events where he's been talking about what's being built in it. He might be able to give us some insight in regard to what's taking place on Cashplex. We haven't heard much from them recently, so that could be great to see. He's also built many applications on Kaspa as well, from the Cast Live to the Cast Bay as well. So hearing his perception on the general consensus of Kaspa and what's being built is going to be really exciting. Of course, Ashton, Nacho, he's also now part of Ecolab's business and development team as well. So we are going to get some very interesting alpha and insight from these 2, hopefully on Tuesday. It could be fantastic. And equally, the following Tuesday, we've got another very big guest. You could argue bigger, but next year it's also going to be very exciting. So truly, if you want to find alpha, I mean, you find all the information in this channel anyways, and equally in the physical server as well. But you want to find alpha every Tuesday, there should be long podcast type of streams with me and Crypto Pumps talking with these guests and finding out more what's happening, particularly on Kaspa. So don't worry, despite my expansion into talking about more than just Kaspa recently and other cryptos, Kaspa content is still going to be a big focus of this community and this channel. So that is going to be great to see. So hopefully we'll hear a lot more exciting stuff coming out soon as well. In other news as well, also very exciting stuff here, you've got Fresh Air, who is a researcher supported by the KEF, I believe also doing work with Kaspa Core as well, who has basically made a big update here in regards to the PI of my merge to master. So the computing data relating to the pruning proof on the fly while building the proof rather than all the time result in substantial performance optimization on many fronts. Coder stuff and a lot of the core devs just basically gave a TLDR as well as saying, let me just tune into perspective here on just how good this change is with some of the figures that I observed, which is also great to see as well. The technical elements is not something that I can always get into too much in depth. I'll probably try and clarify this maybe more so in the Discord community later on. But this in itself is seemingly very, very exciting stuff, helping make Kaspa become more efficient and how it works and how it functions for general people as well. We've got a few more posts here to get into, which also comes one here from Kaspa Lens, basically just giving their shout outs and credit towards HCX Huobi Global about how smart it was to list Kaspa, which courtesy of the KF for doing that, getting Huobi Global to HCX to list Kaspa here. They made a post just saying how Kaspa is not just another coin, which we are all, of course, very well aware of. It's a high-performance network with strong fundamentals, growing adoption, and consistently solid trading interest. Even in low liquidity market conditions, Kaspa continues to rank among the top 20% of spot trading volume on your platform, which is interesting. I did not even know that, if that is true, so that's quite big. To put it in perspective, on a traditionally slow trading day like Sunday, Kaspa recorded a volume of $1.3 million in 24-hour trading volume, which, assuming the average trading fee was 0.18%, this translates to approximately $23,430 in fees on low volume days alone, which is very, very significant. The level of revenue generated during a quiet market phase already speaks for itself. As the broader market continues to recover and daily volume moves back towards levels such as 20 million plus in 24-hour volume, the upside for exchange becomes significantly larger and reoccurring. The point being is because Kaspa's got such a strong community of people who believe in it and continue wanting to trade it and whatnot, it ends up being beneficial for exchanges to end up listing it, because it means even during down periods like Kaspa is in right now, like all of crypto is right now, it still keeps up with consistently decent top 20% trading volume in the crypto market. And of course, you can only imagine what it's going to do when the market starts to really garner momentum again later on. Another big news, which is maybe more for a title more than anything else, but apparently Elon Musk has announced that his Twitter, his X platform, is going to start going all in on crypto, where they're apparently going to be launching built-in price tracking for crypto tokens and stocks directly from the timeline, which that in of itself is quite a big announcement. Of course, means that Twitter is trying to run a monopoly on kind of everything news, finance, which, I mean, is what it is. I guess you got to do what you got to do, but it will be a big deal, bringing more support into the crypto market, more exposure into the crypto market. Most people don't use Twitter for crypto; they use it for just, brain rot, actually, I think these days now it's pretty much all for brain rot or for sports related stuff. Of course, people use it for many things, but those are the main things that I know people use it for. So if you end up seeing these options down here, financial market timeline, it'll bring more exposure to what's taking place, and that can end up bringing more retail investment into crypto as well, which is also huge news. Get Satoshi Nakamoto for guest. I mean, if I knew who he was, I'd reach out to him most definitely, but chances of that are slim to none. I mean, who knows? Maybe one day we can get Yoni on the stream if he has the time, but that is probably a bit of a distant future for that. It's literally called X because he wants to make it the everything platform. This is nothing new, sir. True. The way I originally heard it is that Elon Musk wants to build Twitter or revamp Twitter or into X to replicate what China had done with WeChat, because WeChat is like basically the same thing. WeChat's primary service is a messaging platform, but it can be utilized for everything, for shopping, for news as well. And that's effectively what Elon Musk has been trying to do with Twitter as well, with X now. So it is a big deal. It's a big deal. It's nothing news hearing this, but it does, if you end up seeing, an option just to click on the markets in the timeline here, it will, or maybe not immediately, but albeit slowly, but it will start bringing more adoption from the retail market into crypto. Imagine there's 700 million users getting access to crypto all at once. It'll probably be an even bigger event than ETF approval. I'm not so much sure about that, but it would be a way to bring a lot more exposure to the market. So that's also very, very big news. But yeah, if you look at crypto right now, markets are still holding strong. I am expecting quite a lot of volatility, especially in the incoming week. Not so much because of macro, but more due to geopolitical politics and developers, but also like basically what's happening in Venezuela will impact the markets and other regions around the world as well that are also starting to see some potential conflicts, which we spoke about as well earlier in the VIP. We give a whole rundown. The VIP earlier we give a whole rundown on what we saw last week, what's going to happen in the next incoming weeks, what leading institutions like Wells Fargo and Deutsche Bank, who are all analysing what they believe is going to happen in the immediate short term, what's going to lead the markets. We looked into that as well, and then also gave kind of a mid to long term outlook for this year, 2026, what's going to be the leading figures, what these institutions want to invest into, which, as we have basically highlighted, heavily around AI right now. There also are other elements as well that are crucially important. The time will come this year. You can find the more precise timeline in the VIP information in there, but the time will come this year. You see the market start to hit that catalyst, start to garner momentum, and then it won't stop. It will keep rallying more and more and more. So stay tuned for that, family. This year's going to be huge. It's going to be very, very huge. But with that being said, that does conclude the bulk or all the information for today's stream. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask. Otherwise, then that will likely conclude today's daily live stream. Of course, just covering the big Kaspa announcement, but also the significant, I guess, adoption you're going to start seeing with AI coming forward. How Render is definitely one of the performers right now. And is in with a strong shot to do very well. Hence why I'm looking at Render right now. It's rallied significantly as of late. It's actually even surpassed Kaspa recently as well, which is, I mean, good for the Render holders, right? You'll see it continue lightly as well. You've got your other AI assets as well also performing. Tau done decent as well. Virtuals also done decent since the beginning of the year. So we'll see if that continues going forward as well. If you want to find out more, as always, check out the VIP. You should tune in right now. The time is going to start running out. We're going to be cancelling it soon, but you can get access to a 7-day free trial period. So you can get free access for a week to the VIP streams we've done, all the alpha documentation in there as well, the breakdowns, the macro research, the trading picks, the games we're making as well. What information you can find in the VIP. Links down below in the description. And you should tune into the free Discord server and check out the Get VIP Access page. You can also get up to a 1-month free trial as well. It's one of the steps in here as well. Signing for BYDFI, to which BYDFI have got a Kaspa training campaign that are going to end in the next 3 to 4 days as well. Chance to get up to $10,000 in Kaspa. So all information about that you can find in the free server. So go check that out most definitely. If you haven't done so already. What's everyone average price for Kaspa? I am in and around that level as well myself. You know, I've got a massive bag now. I've been DCing continuously, especially more at these lower levels right now, because I'm under the interpretation that Kaspa won't be going much lower than here, hopefully. So I've been stacking a bit heavier recently as well. What do you think? I have 200,000 Kaspa coins and only 3 Tau. I buy more Kaspa or Tau. I mean, up to you, Don. Ultimately, what's best for you? There's going to be a huge error meta for sure. But I understand you're having your conviction in Kaspa, and I think Kaspa is a strong pick, no doubt. Of course, having 3 Tau is still significant considering the price of it is. So, still not bad at all. If Tau was to return to, you know, its all-time highs, you're looking at, let's just say all-time highs at 800, you're looking at 2,400, which is significant. I think it's come down to your own investment strategy. I think AI is going to be huge. But if I was to invest, I mean, so first of all, I always prioritize Kaspa personally. Once I'm comfortable with my Kaspa holding, then I'll look into other areas as well. Tau isn't fully decentralized; it's heavily validated consensus. Yeah, that is true. There's an inherent risk to it. That's also why I always choose Kaspa first, because Kaspa has a lot. The risk to reward for Kaspa is a lot stronger than anything else due to being actually decentralized as well. My bad mistake on the links. It's all good, man. It's all good. You know, I don't expect it all the time. It's nice when you do it, but it's great. But I still appreciate very much for that. Thank you very much for the moderation work that you've been doing, helping me out a lot. Air will be huge, but it won't be anything Kaspa can't handle. Yeah, I would care to agree. But that's also why I'm taking this moment now to try and latch onto this AI bubble, this boom that will happen, and then, you know, size and reallocate this into capital when the time is right as well. Tao's one that is evidently leading in AI. I think Tao's going to be the strongest and biggest, but you've got many out there I think also have a very good shout as well. Which I mentioned in my VIPs. This week, I'll be publicizing a full AI deep dive document on all the assets we're looking into, and even some other ones that may be coming in as well that we're going to be looking into, potentially investing into. And if you want to find the ones that are on our radar, then check out the VIP. 7-day free trials, links down below in the description. Well, that being said though, family, thank you once again for tuning in today's daily live stream. Keep making the mistake. If you enjoyed, leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. If you want to find out more, check out the socials, Twitter, Free Discord server, and the VIP. Wait for this week. This week's going to be huge in regards to what's coming out for information. So hopefully I'll see you then. That being said, have a great day, good evening, and good night.